going live?
It's going live.
It's going live?
We're going live.
You're live.
I'm live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly Waterville Valley COVID-19 update. For those of you who might be joining us for the first time, we do these updates on the weeks when we do not have selectmen's meetings to provide you with information regarding COVID-19 and other events or items going on here in Waterville Valley. So we have some big news from the beginning of the week. Decision by the Board of Selectmen to proceed in conjunction with the Recreation Department staff, and we've decided to move forward with summer camps here in the Valley this summer. And I'd like to start our update because it is related to the guidelines that have been put out under the COVID-19 state of emergency. I'd like to start off with an update from our recreation director about those summer camps and what we're planning to do starting next month. So take it away, Brooke.
Thanks, Mark. So yes, camp was approved. We will be running 6 weeks of camp, July 6th through August 14th. We will run 4 groups, and we will be taking 32 kids per week. So it's 8 kids per group. So that's about 50% of our regular capacity. We will be following the guidance that was put forth by the governor and the state, and as well as lining up with the CDC guidance, also recently released for day camps. We will be having a tent in Packard Field for the duration of camp, so that, and we'll also have 2 porta potties that will be on Packard Field during the camp weeks, 4 camps only. We will not be running our general programs during the week. We still are unsure about the weekend, but we will not be running our general programs in the building because we will be having the campers and we need to keep it as clean as possible. We will also have positions such as health counselor and also cleaners added to make the camp possible. Our training for camp counselors will be June 29th through July 3rd. So that is what we have to date.
All right. Well, I know you're continuing to plan those activities and provide folks with any changes or any updates to that information at the selectmen's meetings or as part of COVID-19 update in the future, right?
Right. And right now our focus is we are trying to confirm with staff who have been because this is a change to what we talked about initially. We're just confirming with the staff, and then we'll be releasing information to the parents on Monday, talking to them about sort of the protocol, giving them an opportunity to see what we expect of the campers and the parents, what the agreement will be, give them an opportunity to get a full refund if they're not interested in participating, so we can move through our wait lists.
Sure.
And we'll also make all of that operation paperwork available to the general public on our website so that people can see how we are looking at running our camps.
Okay, great. Right. Well, thank you for the update. And I know you've got to go to another event, so we'll let you drop off of the meeting, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. So we have some additional items to mention. Under the reopening of different activities across the state. One of the things that impacts here in Waterville Valley especially is the fact that lodging opens on Friday, June 5th. There are conditions for that. I believe it's 50% occupancy in most of the establishments here in town, right? But we might see some folks coming in to the valley for the lodging. Right now, I think it is limited to New Hampshire residents and those folks who have sheltered here for 14 days or more. So it is limited in the beginning, but this is a phased reopening, and I think this first phase will probably stay in effect for a few weeks going forward. Speaking of phased reopenings, we are still in the stay-at-home 2.0 situation. Last week, the governor extended that through June 15th. And if you want more information about what exactly that means, there is a lot of information on the state website. Simply going to nh.gov and following the links for COVID-19 information will provide you with what those guidelines specifically are right now. I don't think we have any active cases in town at the current time. Anything else, Chris, that you can think of that we need to update folks?
Myself and Chief Noyes have been working diligently with businesses, consulting with them as far as occupancies, and they're running by some reopening plans. So I'm pretty confident that once these businesses get the green light, that they'll be ready to go, which is very encouraging.
And I noticed there's some tables and stuff up in town square, so some of the restaurants are working, right?
Yep. There's outdoor seating in town square for a couple of the restaurants there. And we're just kind of watching that, and we're waiting for people to come by and use them.
Yep. I also would like to note and thank everyone for cooperation at the post office. Folks are being very respectful, at least from what I've seen and heard. Folks are being respectful of others, and we are limiting the number of people that go in at a time at the post office. Folks are wearing masks if they're going to be in contact with others around that area especially. Just want to highlight that is probably our most highly trafficked area in all of town right now. So just continue to work with us. The guidelines are posted right outside of the door, and maintain social distance and wear a mask if you can't do that. So I see Margaret and Rich are on the meeting call. Did we forget anything, or is there anything other specifics that you'd like to mention at this point in time, Margaret or Rich?
I'm good.
Okay. You're good, Margaret?
Yeah, Mark, did you, I think that Chris Hodges and Dave Noyes wrote a very good letter in response to some of the things we've seen happening that are not related to coronavirus. I don't know whether this is the appropriate place, but I want to thank them for that letter. I didn't know whether they were going to address it at the meeting.
Yeah, we have a couple of items that are non-COVID related, so we can get right into that. Dave, was there anything that you needed COVID related before we move on to other things, Dave?
I just had one question. Isn't
Okay.
the occupancy in the hotel, don't people have to attest that they've been quarantined somewhere? It's not necessarily in New Hampshire, is it?
That's correct.
Okay, okay. So it's possible we'll see all kinds of different license plates. I mean, we've been seeing them anyway, but not in the hotels. And they can attest that they have quarantined themselves for 14 days upon check-in. If they can do that, they are allowed to check in. And again, under the % rules.
That's correct.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay. Dave? Did we miss anything?
No,
All right. Very
no,
good.
I think you guys covered it.
Okay, good. Yes, so we'll move on to some non-COVID related things. I would like to have Chris talk a little bit about the letter that the Department of Public Safety has posted. I agree with Margaret. I think it's a very good letter, and I think we should share it with everyone as far as our public safety department's position with what's happened over the past week or so.
Absolutely. So Dave and I, Chief Noyes and I drafted a statement from the Department of Public Safety here in Waterville Valley in regards to the events that have been going on all week. Our position is that silence isn't the answer to this and ignoring it. So with regard to the George Floyd in custody death in Minneapolis, we are dismayed and deeply troubled by what occurred. The actions and inactions of the officers in Minneapolis, as shown in the video, are wholly inconsistent with the culture, training, and values we instill and promote to our officers in Waterville Valley. There is no justification for the actions of the now former officer, nor the failure of the other officers at the scene to intervene that resulted in Mr. Floyd's tragic death. In addition, their actions and inaction not only violate criminal laws, but also our law enforcement oath of honor, our law enforcement code of ethics, and the Constitution they are sworn to uphold. Our organization values the sanctity of human life and the importance of treating all persons with dignity and respect, and this act was none of that. As a profession, we are sworn to protect our communities and all those within. Please know that your police department is committed to keeping Waterville Valley safe in partnership with our fellow community members.
Thanks, Chris. And I do appreciate the letter and the sentiment behind it. I know that the Public Safety Department goes out of their way to try to enhance the community policing. You guys do a great job with it and appreciate those comments.
And our community makes it very easy. We have a lot of support and we really appreciate that.
Yep.
And I'd like to see if Chief Noyes has any comments.
No, I think I just want to echo that sentiment that we recognize how much support we do get up here. And I think certainly there was an effort, the letter to, express how we feel about that situation and the ongoing situation out there. And I think many of you in town who do know us know that this is those actions are in no way a reflection of us or how we conduct business here in Waterville Valley. So, thank you, and it's certainly to be said.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chief. And if anyone has any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to call us or email us. Lines of communication are always open between our community and the town and Public Safety Department, for sure. So I had three other items that I'd like to cover fairly quickly here. The first thing that we mentioned during the community call yesterday is the fact that the census, the national census that we take every 10 years here in the United States is currently ongoing. And we found out an interesting fact over the last week or so, and that's that if you have a post office box address, you're not going to receive any notice to fill out census data. So you have to go online to do that. So we have put a link on the town website for Census 2020. And if you click on that link, there is a further link on that census page that you would click on if you have a post office box address. And so you click on that link. I think it's at the bottom of the landing page for the census, right?
Yep, it's right underneath where they would put the code number in.
Right underneath where you put the code, where you would put your code number in if they had sent you a letter, like they do for people who have a physical address, get their mail at a physical address. So right underneath that, there's a place to click for post office box holders. So please, that survey on the Census 2020 website takes just a couple of minutes to complete. But this information is vital. As an example, in 2010, when the census was last taken, the town of Waterville Valley was credited with having approximately 225 people in it. At that time, we really had closer to 300. That's a 50% difference. And that may not sound like a lot. Use that data, and the last time it was used was when the governor dispersed the funding for COVID-19 to all of the municipalities in New Hampshire. That distribution of money was done strictly based on the 2010 population in that system, because people who really honestly live here were not counted during the census. So on our website and follow that link to the Census Bureau page and just register and let them know that you live in Waterville Valley. If you have any questions, Sharon is our subject matter expert on that, and actually everybody in the office can help you navigate that page if you need some help. So don't hesitate to call and we'll talk you through it if we need to, but very important for the town going forward. Another item is our income survey that we've been conducting over the last couple of months. It's been a little bit difficult in the COVID world to communicate with you the importance of the income survey. We are getting ready to send out a second mailing to folks that we have not heard from yet. So we'll be getting that in the mail, hopefully by Friday, and if not by early next week. But when you receive that, please take a look at it, fill out the sheet, and return that information. We're gathering that info through a third-party company. It does not come back to the town of Waterville Valley. We never see the data. All we get is the results. But that is important because we are working with the United States Department of Agriculture to modify, if possible, our household income here in town, which right now is extremely high, so we do not qualify for any additional funding or grant monies from the United States Department of Agriculture, which runs some programs for water and sewer projects. If we can identify a lower household income here in town, that'll make us eligible for up to 45% of project costs as a grant from the federal government. So if you remember back in March, we approved $1 million water improvement project. If we qualified for this USDA money, that could mean up to $450,000 for the town of Waterville Valley that we would not have to bond for that project. So if you have any questions about the survey when you get it in the mail, please give us a call and we can discuss it at that time. The final thing is good news. On Monday, we are going to be starting work on the village trail between the dam and Snowsbrook Road. This is the hiking, biking trail that runs right along Snowsbrook in that area below the Golden Eagle and the conference center. So that trail will be closed so that they can do some work over the next several weeks. The contractor wants to get in there and get the work done so that we can have the trail at least passable by the 4th of July. We're doing work which includes icon and things like that. We're also installing 4 light fixtures light poles and fixtures along the trail. And we're putting in some signs and a small rest stop, if you will, little bench and that sort of thing, right below the conference center trail that comes into the village trail. So it should be a great upgrade. It's the first phase of our trail improvements around the pond area in the center of town. And we're really looking forward to having the lights especially improve some safety at nighttime and hopefully make it much more user-friendly. So those are the last four things. And want to thank you for taking a few moments and getting caught up with us. Again, if you have any questions, you can give us a call at 603-236-4730. And we're here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We're on a full schedule now with all of our staff. Or you can email us at townofwv@watervillevalley.org. So thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all next week at the regular Selectmen's meeting, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Anything else, Margaret?
No, thanks very much, Mark.
Okay, thank you. Talk to everyone later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
There we go.